The Calgary Police Service is investigating an early morning shooting incident that has left one person dead. At approximately 3 a.m. this morning, Saturday, August 23rd, 2014, police were called to 11th Avenue and 1 Street Southwest for reports of gunfire. Upon arrival, officers found a female suffering from a gunshot wound. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim is believed to be in her mid-20s. At this point, this does not appear to be a targeted attack, and the victim appears to be an innocent bystander. The Homicide Unit continues to speak to witnesses. Anyone who may have witnessed the incident or events leading up to the shooting is encouraged to call police at 403-266-1234 or Crime Stoppers. And I'll take your questions now.
At this point, do we know what happened? In terms of,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Just the minutes before the shooting, like, what is your understanding in terms of what happened?
Our understanding to date, based on the interview of approximately 15 to 20 witnesses, is that there was a group of individuals standing outside an establishment at 11th Avenue and 1 Street Southwest when gunfire erupted from the street and striking one female.
Do we know if that, so obviously she just seemed to just get in the middle of it, wrong place, wrong time, and do we know if those shootings were, do you know if they were gang related or just random? Do we know anything like that yet?
So all we know right now, we're following up obviously a number of different angles. There's no indication right now that this is gang related. Everything in the investigation is pointing to the fact that this female had exited the establishment and was speaking with a group of friends when she was inadvertently shot.
What about the rest of her friends or the group she was with?
No one else was struck by any bullet.
But might they have been the target?
It's very possible that somebody in that group or in and around that whole block may have been the target, but we can't say right now.
When you say the weapon was fired from the street, was it somebody who was standing on the street or was it somebody driving by?
We believe the weapon was discharged from in and around a vehicle, unknown if from a vehicle or around a vehicle.
Who was she with?
She was with a group of friends out for the night.
Okay, was she with any family members?
I can't say for sure.
What was she doing? Was she like, celebrating anything in particular? Or?
No celebration in particular that I'm aware of. Just simply out to enjoy some time with her friends.
And were they leaving the bar for the night? Like she wasn't out for a smoke break or something? They had left?
Yes, that's our understanding, is that they had exited the establishment and were simply standing in front, having some conversation.
Were there any disturbances in the establishment earlier in the evening?
That's one of the angles that we're pursuing, but we're not aware of any altercations inside the establishment that may have come to the outside.
Can you confirm the name of the establishment? Was it Bronco?
Yeah, I won't. I'll just say establishment at 11th Avenue and 1 Street Southwest.
Is there a description of the vehicle, and if so, have you managed to find that vehicle today at all?
There were a number of vehicles that were seen leaving the scene, most of probably which were unrelated, but probably one or possibly two that may have been related. And so we do have a couple of vehicle descriptions, actually not a couple, we have multiple vehicle descriptions that we're currently following up on. And if we require the public in identifying those vehicles down the road, then we'll be making that said.
So no vehicle recovered this morning or today at all?
No, sir. We have no suspects.
Can you talk about how unusual this is for an innocent bystander to be caught up in something like that?
It's very unusual, and we're deeply concerned as a police service that some individuals were innocently having a conversation outside an establishment when one of them was shot and died as a result. So are we taking this very seriously? We certainly are. We have a whole team of investigators. Been working this case since 3 a.m. this morning, and we'll continue to do so until such time that we identify the suspects responsible.
I know that you said before that it's not clear if, the shot could have been intended for one of her group of friends. In the interviews, like with the witnesses, are any of those people of that group either having, I don't know, criminal past or any association or any dealings with police, just like, or in a life of crime, basically, where there could be an idea that they could be meant for this person?
And the simple answer to that is no. Her friends, her group, were not known to us.
The person that police led away in handcuffs last night, is that person or anyone else still in custody?
I was not aware that anyone was in custody in relation to this.
How big of a group of friends was this that was standing outside the bar?
There was a number of people standing outside the establishment. In her group, it was approximately 4 to 6 people.
It appears from the evidence that it wasn't just one shot. Can you comment on that? How many?
What I can tell you is that there were multiple shots that were fired. I can't provide you a number.
Can you talk a little bit in more detail about the type of weapon?
I cannot.
And it was one person who was firing the gun?
We're exploring the fact if it was one, if it was or if it was more than one. At this point in the investigation, we don't have answers to those questions.
So there's a possibility that
It's possible. It's just too early on to speculate.
How did you obtain witness statements?
I'm sorry, sir?
How did you obtain witness statements? Were people brought to West Winds?
Yeah, that's correct. So people that remained at the scene were asked to come to West Winds and provide police with a statement as to what they may have seen.
Okay, can you quantify how many people?
We had approximately a dozen people here this morning.
Okay. Is it possible that someone who was possibly targeted was brought in as a witness? Or
We-
do you think those people were, just basically fled the scene?
Yeah, we don't believe anybody that we interviewed this morning was none other than bona fide witness.
Were there any issues with the establishment that allowed police?
We have, I'm unsure of whether or not what our involvement is there, and I can't speak to that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, can you just elaborate or clarify again the relation to a possible car? Like whether it was a drive-by shooting or, I know you spoke to that, but if you can just run through that again.
So once again, we're not sure. What we're doing is reviewing a lot of CCTV footage in the area, and we're hoping that once our investigators are able to review the footage, it'll give us a better idea as to whether or not the shots came from either a vehicle or from someone in the street.
Okay, so they came from the street, but you're just not sure whether it was a person on foot or in a vehicle?
That's correct.
And then you said you have possibly 2 vehicles that you're maybe zeroing in on, or?
You know, it could be one, it could be two. I was just basically speaking in general terms there. We're not exactly sure, to be honest.
And again, just to clarify what you were saying about her friend, you're looking into the possibility that the shots could have been targeted at one of them, but you're not sure yet, or?
So we're looking at all possibilities. And so, are we interested as to who was standing outside that establishment? And we're trying to identify everybody there? Absolutely. And where that goes, we have no idea right now. But what we can tell you is that our victim today, our female victim, we believe was an innocent bystander.
Are you gonna be releasing her name?
We will be releasing her name at the direction of the medical examiner's office, and that'll probably most likely happen on Monday morning after autopsy.
Obviously, like you mentioned before, very unusual for a nurse and bystander. Can you just talk about the family's reaction to being notified?
So we are currently in contact with the family, obviously shocked and saddened by this. The family is from out of town. They've arrived and currently speaking with investigators.
Did she live in Calgary or was she visiting?
She was a Calgary resident.
Okay,
But her family's
Not from Calgary. I'm not prepared to say where they're from.
So I'm just trying to figure out, do you know who was being targeted? Like, do you have any intel on that?
We don't, which is, one of the challenges of this investigation. We have no idea who the target was.
So there's no specific suspect descriptions or vehicle descriptions that you guys want to put out there right now that you're.
We do have one, thank you for asking, we do have one suspect description that we would like to put out there. It's a fairly vague description, but I'll give it to you anyways. And it's a male. And the description we've been given by witnesses is in his 20s. And it's a black male. We have no other physical description on this individual.
Is there I just seen something online about a black male shooting a silver pistol. Is there any truth to that, or is that something you're looking into?
It's something that we're exploring, but there were eyewitnesses at the scene that did observe this black male, and so whether or not that's coming from one of those witnesses, I'm not sure.
But this black male is considered a suspect. It's not a witness, or.
That's correct. Yes, we are looking for a black male suspect in his mid-20s.
You're not sure whether he's the only suspect you're looking for, or whether there's other people involved.
Correct.
You said there was multiple shots fired. Is there any indication or suggestion that it might have been from multiple firearms?
We have our crime scenes unit at the scene right now, and they are exploring whether or not we have more than one firearm involved. I cannot comment on that.
And just with the fact that she was standing in a group of 4 to 6 people, and there might have been other people milling about at the time.
Right.
Is it unusual to you that she was the only one struck? Like if assuming they were targeting someone and it wasn't her, she was the only one who died and no one else was even injured. Is that odd to you if they're all standing in a group?
Well, I would consider it fortunate, is what I would consider it, because there were multiple shots fired. It's purely a godsend that more people were not hurt or injured in this incident, with given the number of shell casings that we have at the scene. So we are, as a police service, we're deeply concerned about this.
So is it possible that it's a case of mistaken identity?
We don't believe so.
And is this would be Calgary's 23rd homicide, yes?
It's either, is it number 23? Yes, number 23.
And sorry if this was asked and answered already, but do you know how many times she was struck? Was it just the once by bullet?
Yes, just once. Correct.
So she was struck once, but there were multiple shots fired.
Correct.
Was she struck in the torso?
I can't say where she was struck.
Okay.
What
thanks,
does
guys.
this say about just generally the safety of our community? I mean, obviously it's, Saturday night, lots of people are gonna be going out. What is the message?
The message is that we are taking this very seriously. The homicide unit has unable to establish a clear motive in this case. It's as you mentioned, it's a high traffic area in a downtown entertainment district at a time when there's a number of people exiting establishments, and absolutely we're taking this very seriously, and we're very concerned.